Even though it's been more than a century since the Titanic sank into the North Atlantic Ocean after hitting an iceberg on April 14, 1912, we still think about what happened that night. We remember the more than 1,500 people who died. But what about the 706 people who were lucky enough to make it through the tragedy? Some people were haunted by the tragedy for the rest of their lives, while others became famous or heroes because they lived through it. There are no more survivors today. Millvina Dean, the last survivor, died in 2009 at the age of 97. She was only 2 months old when the disaster happened. In this video, we will go through 5 horrifying Titanic stories from people who lived through them. Hello, and welcome to our channel, the Mystery Amuse. We bring you the mysteries that need solving every day. Before we move on, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button. Now, let's start with the video. Number 5. Locked Doors. Eliza Movie was on the Titanic on that fateful night. Her survival story, going down with the Titanic in third class, was later published in Tanky magazine. Eliza and Pekka decided to leave Finland and start a new life in the United States. After the couple got back to their cabin on April 14 and settled in, they heard a loud scraping sound, and then the engine started to shut down. Pekka went outside to find out what was going on. By the time Eliza stuck her head out, the hallway was tilted. After a few seconds, she heard a ruckus in the hallway. One of her friends said that the ship was sinking, but Pekka was nowhere to be found, so her friend asked, "How did he get out of the passageway? Every door is locked." I was baffled. I wasn't sure what to do. After a few seconds, I grabbed my purse and life jacket and ran to the passageway. Every door was locked. Then a steward finally came along. He led the crew to the third deck, where they were then taken to the Carpathia. They didn't get to a safe ship until the next morning when the sun was already up. Number 4. The card. In the remnants of the Titanic, there was an inspection card found that belonged to a woman named Marianne. Meanwhile, this must seem like any ordinary find after a wreck, but it revealed a grim story for the woman. Once the card was found, it was then revealed that Marianne was not intended to be on the Titanic at all. But by some turn of events, she, unfortunately, found herself as one of the passengers. The card shows us that she was originally meant to be traveling on a ship called the Majestic. But for some reason, the trip she'd originally planned was delayed, and she instead was assigned to the ill-fated Titanic. There's no way anybody could have known or warned her. It's just a really tragic situation to look back on. Number 3. Record time. Many survivors said that the Titanic was moving very quickly, faster than anything they had ever seen before. Well, that's because the ship's captain, Edward J. Smith, was trying to beat the time it took the older sister ship, White Star, to cross the Atlantic. At this point, there were already worries about icebergs, but the fact that the captain kept going at full speed, even though more icebergs were coming, didn't help. Astronomers at Texas State University in San Marcos found something cosmic that might have had something to do with the Titanic sinking. Around January 1912, because the sun, moon, and the earth were all in the same line that night, the tides in the Atlantic Ocean could have been higher than usual, which ultimately led to the sinking of the Titanic. Number 2. Eliza Movie Dean. This story is truly remarkable. Elizabeth Dean was only a newborn on the Titanic. Her parents were traveling to the United States with all of their belongings packed into baggage. Eliza's father was on deck at the moment of the disaster. Thus, he witnessed the ship collide with the iceberg. How frightening is that? But in doing so, he realized in that instant that he should gather his family and head to the deck because something terrible was about to occur. Amazingly, despite being third-class passengers, they were among the first aboard the lifeboats. As previously stated, it was Eliza, her brother, and her mother. They all made it to the ship safely. However, her father obviously did not escape, which is tragic. However, his intelligence saved his family. Number 1. Ignored flares. Just 20 miles distant from the location where the Titanic sank was another ship. The name of this ship was the S. Californian. This ship had stopped to avoid the ice, and the Titanic's crew had received similar iceberg warnings. Before the collision, the Titanic was warned 6 times about icebergs, so the captain of the other boat slowed down and saw that the Titanic was setting off its emergency flares. He didn't pay attention to them, though, because he thought they were company rockets. The radio operator on the SS Californian went to sleep and didn't hear the SOS signals that the Titanic sent out until the next day. When they finally got there the next day after hearing these calls, it was obviously too late. These stories of the people who lived through it show the bravery, horror, and sadness of that day. That was it for today's video, guys. What are your thoughts on the video? Do let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We will see you in the next video. Till then, take care.